I didn't see it coming. One second we were laughing, the next he said it. It was one of those nights that felt suspended in time. Summer break, warm breeze, music humming low through the cracked living room window. Quinn and I were on the porch of my parents' lake house, sharing a bottle of cheap red wine we'd stolen from the kitchen. I think it was our third glass, or maybe fourth. The world had started to tilt just enough to feel like a dream. We talked about everything and nothing, like always. About that one math teacher who hated us both. About Quinn's new tattoo. About the way the stars seemed to shine a little harder out here. I remember leaning back against the wooden railing, our shoulders brushing occasionally. It wasn't new, touching him, I mean. We'd always been like that. Close. Physical. Comfortable. It never felt strange before. Until that night. He went quiet for a moment. The kind of silence that makes you turn to look. I did, and found him already staring at me. His face was soft, eyes glassy in that way they got when he was about to say something honest. "I think I've been in love with you for a long time," he said. Just like that. No warning. No build-up. No punchline. I laughed. It wasn't the good kind of laugh either. Not the one I used when we were being idiots or quoting inside jokes. It was short, nervous, awkward as hell. Because in that moment, I didn't know what else to do. My heart didn't stop, it sprinted. Like it was trying to outrun the moment, escape through my chest, and disappear into the night sky. I could hear it in my ears, louder than the crickets or the music or even the sound of Quinn exhaling after he said it. I didn't respond. I couldn't. My tongue felt like sandpaper. My mouth moved, but nothing came out. I think I opened it to say his name, but even that felt dangerous. Because saying his name meant acknowledging what he'd said. And acknowledging it meant maybe I'd have to face whatever was waking up inside me. So I stared at him. He didn't look away. He didn't even flinch. Just stood there, waiting. Brave. Open. His face was so damn vulnerable, it made me feel like a coward. And then I walked away. I didn't say a word. Didn't look back. I left the wine, the porch, the night, and him, standing there with the weight of a confession I wasn't ready to carry. As I climbed the stairs to my room, something inside me whispered that things would never go back to how they were. And for the first time in years, I wasn't sure if I wanted them to. I became an expert at not looking directly at him. It's weird how fast you can forget how to act normal around someone. 1 minute, you're finishing each other's sentences and stealing fries off their plate, and the next, you're ducking behind shelves in the campus bookstore just to avoid eye contact. Every text he sent felt like a ticking bomb I didn't know how to defuse. "Hey, can we talk? Please don't shut me out. I'm still your best friend, right?" I left them all unread. Not because I didn't want to read them. God, I read them. Over and over. I just didn't want him to know I had. That I was still holding them close like secrets pressed to my chest. I skipped lunch at our usual spot 3 days in a row. I even changed my route to class so I wouldn't have to walk past the art building, because I knew that's where he'd be, sketching on the low wall in the sun like he always did. That was his thing, headphones in, world out, always humming under his breath. It used to make me smile. Now it made me ache. The thing is, even when he wasn't around, he was everywhere. In the way I brewed my coffee, 2 sugars, no milk, just like he taught me. In the hoodie I kept grabbing out of habit, forgetting it wasn't mine. In the playlists we made on late-night drives, where every damn song suddenly felt like it was about him. I missed him like someone I'd already lost, but technically I hadn't. Not yet. That was the worst part. Knowing he was just a text away. Knowing all it would take was one phone call, one hey, and he'd come running like he always did. But I didn't reach out. Not because I didn't want to, but because I didn't trust what would happen if I did. I was scared. And not in the abstract, dramatic kind of way. I mean the kind of scared that sits in your throat like a stone. The kind that convinces you it's better to feel empty than uncertain. That maybe it's safer to break something gently with silence than risk shattering it completely by saying the wrong thing. But silence wasn't gentle. It was cruel. Every time I saw him across campus, shoulders slumped a little lower, smile not quite reaching his eyes, I felt like the villain in a story I never meant to write. I told myself I just needed time. Time to think. Time to figure out what I felt. Time to forget the way my chest tightened when he looked at me and said he loved me. But time wasn't helping. It was only making the silence heavier. And I had no idea how much longer I could carry it. One day, I had an argument with him. "You ruined everything," I said. But deep down, I knew I was the one who let it fall apart. I hadn't seen him face to face since that night on the porch. I'd been hiding behind missed calls and unanswered texts, telling myself that distance would make things clearer. It didn't. So when Quinn showed up after class, standing outside the science building like he'd been waiting for hours, my stomach twisted. He looked nervous, like he wasn't sure I'd even stop. "Malcolm," just my name, but it felt like a hand on my chest. I froze. I could have kept walking. Could have brushed past him and mumbled something about being late. But I didn't. My feet betrayed me. He started, then paused. "Can we talk?" I glanced around. Students poured out of the building, laughing, calling each other's names. The world felt way too loud for a conversation this fragile. I sighed and nodded toward the side of the building where no one really went. We walked there in silence, the kind that buzzes between two people who used to know how to fill every second with laughter. He spoke first. "I miss you," he said. The words hit too hard. Too raw. He still said them like I was his home. "Quinn," I said, warning in my voice, but even I wasn't sure what I was warning against. I didn't mean to screw things up. I couldn't keep it inside anymore. His eyes searched mine. "You don't have to say anything, just don't shut me out." But I already had. And I couldn't stand the guilt of it anymore. So I did what scared people do. I lashed out. "You should have kept it to yourself," I said, and immediately hated the sound of my own voice, sharp, brittle, wrong. He blinked as if I'd shoved him. "You think telling me you love me wouldn't change everything?" I went on. "We were good, Quinn. We had something real. And now I can't even look at you without feeling like I'm supposed to be someone I'm not." He swallowed hard. "I never asked you to be anyone but you. Then why does it feel like you broke something sacred?" I whispered. He stared at me, stunned. "I didn't break it, Mal. I just told the truth." And that was the moment I realized what this was. Not a fight, not really. It was a confession followed by a collapse. He had handed me his heart, trembling and honest, and I had done nothing but back away from it like it was something dangerous. "I can't do this," I said, stepping away. He didn't follow me. "Not this time." "I get it," he said softly. "Just don't pretend I didn't mean anything." I didn't answer. I just left. And in the quiet that followed, I understood something awful. He didn't ruin us. I did. But somehow we found our way back again. Not all at once. It wasn't some grand, sweeping reconciliation. It was a slow crawl out of silence. Text messages that were more question marks than words. A half smile in passing. Him lending me a pen in class like it meant nothing, even though everything between us still felt scorched. And then one Tuesday evening, we were at the library. Like old times. I don't even remember what we were supposed to be studying. I couldn't focus. I was hyper-aware of every little thing he did. The way he chewed his bottom lip when he read, how his hair curled slightly behind his ear when it got too long, the quiet sound of him breathing next to me like he belonged there. He must have felt it too. The shift. The way our silences had changed shape. It started raining just as we left. Heavy, careless rain that slapped the pavement and turned the sky into a gray blur. We didn't have umbrellas. Of course we didn't. And we laughed as we sprinted across the campus lawn like idiots. By the time we ducked under an old oak tree near the science building, we were drenched. His hair stuck to his forehead, his shirt clung to his chest, and his smile, God, his smile, was this wild, beautiful thing I hadn't seen in weeks. And then it faded. He looked at me like he wanted to say something. Something dangerous. Something that might wreck us all over again. But he didn't have to. Because something in my chest cracked open. And I realized I wanted to kiss him. I had wanted to kiss him. For a long time. I leaned in. Or maybe he did. It didn't matter. Our lips met, soft at first. Careful, like we were afraid we'd shatter. But then it deepened. His hand slid to the back of my neck, and I swear the air between us shifted. The kiss got hungrier. Messier. His mouth tasted like rain and panic, and something so familiar it nearly undid me. And for a second, I let myself fall. But then I pulled back. Too fast. Too scared. His eyes were wide, searching mine for some kind of anchor. Some permission to believe this wasn't just a glitch in my fear-wired brain. But all I could say was, it was a mistake. The words fell out before I could stop them, and I hated how final they sounded. I saw it, the moment something broke in him. It wasn't dramatic. No yelling. No storm. Just this quiet retreat behind his eyes, like he was pulling shut every door I'd ever had the chance to walk through. He nodded, then turned, and walked out into the rain. I didn't call after him. I didn't run. I just stood there, soaked, shaking, wanting everything and understanding nothing. I loved him too. I just didn't know how to say it without breaking myself. Days passed. Silence screamed. I couldn't eat. Couldn't sleep. Every memory of us was laced with regret. So I went to him. No speeches. Just the truth. I was scared, I told him. But I've been in love with you too. I think. I always was. He didn't say anything. He just stepped forward and kissed me. And this time, I kissed him back like I meant it.